Hello, 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 everybody. How you guys doing? Welcome to Mondays with Max. I am Max Voltage, as you already know. Good to see you all. Thank you all for being here. Had a lot of time to think this weekend, so I was thinking through a lot of different things. I'll go through some of the things I was doing this weekend, but that's what led up to today, actually. It was bugging me because I couldn't find any good 5700 XT or 5600 XT overclocks and hash rates for lolminer. lolminer was saying that they had increased the hash rates on AMD 5000 series cards by about 15 to 20%. I was like, cool. What does that really mean? I don't know. So we're going to try that tonight, see if we can figure out how to get the best hash rate and the most efficiency out of them tonight, real time. Kludged up a test rig and got it running. Actually, in record time, did it like in less than an hour. Just grabbed all the stuff from the basement and piled it all up on my desk in a haphazard way, as you saw during the countdown. But anyway, no new plaid. All right, let's see who is here tonight. Kaiser McLean, thank you for being here. Trying to mine. Chris Hanley. Network Bits, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Viper Mining. Yes, I am batshit. Bleep. 3 Foxco, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Let's see who else is here. Patrick Murphy. And as I mentioned, trying to mine. Thank you for being a member trying to mine. I do appreciate that. Iguana Bites. Tech Man, thank you for being here. Crypto Crag. Funwiser. Yes, thank you for being here, Funwiser. Matt Plumley. Wow Henway. Aragorn Strider. Integra Guy, thank you for being a member, and yes, a fellow Illinoisan as well. Dpran, so yes, the October joke was just that October, Halloween, creepy. You said my face looked the face I made in the thumbnail looked creepy. That's what I meant by October. It's Halloween. Anyway, Big Wooly, thank you for being here. And Taines, Mining King. I'm hoping you can give me some help with these overclock settings. We'll try something initially, and then we'll see where we go from there. I have a feeling there's going to be some crashing, which is why I wanted to make sure I had it set up on my desk so that I could reboot if I needed to, turn it off, turn it back on, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. TPS Miner, thank you for being here and being a member, as well as Mining King being a member, as well as Taines being a member. Appreciate you all. MH, Gandalf Gray, Baldini, thank you for being here. Scrolling. Rude Poots, thank you for being here and being a member. Slick Nick 87, WX2. I always hate that when it jumps on me. Where did I leave off? Corden Murray, Black Cat Crypto, thank you for being here. Caveman Mining, High Root Farms, George Justice, PCM, and okay, that's all the people that are here that are in the chat that I saw. So, alrighty, guys. Well, let's kind of get started. Okay, Baldini, I know I said this was also an AMA, but that's kind of ridiculous. I can't tell you when you're going to. Okay, I guess I can tell you. You're never going to be a millionaire. Is that what you wanted to hear? Anyway, I don't know. It depends on what you're mining. Hey, if Meow Coin goes crazy, or if Raptorium or any of these other coins that we all mine, not having any idea if they were going anywhere. Neoxa. You never know. Never know. We could all be millionaires maybe one day. Alrighty. Well, let's get started. And let me see if I remember. Is this the right one? That is the right one. So thank you to Matt Electron for supplying the power supply, or not the power supply, but the power meter for tonight's episode. Very much appreciate that. So decided I was downstairs, not even planning on using it. And then I was like, well, that's dumb. Of course I should use it. So I brought it upstairs. I did have it hooked up to my Raptorium miner until I hooked it all up to 240. So anyway, so here we have the Gigabyte 5600 XT, and here we have the Sapphire Pulse 5700 XT. Both are BIOS modded, so everybody's mileage may vary a little bit. I'm not sure how much that's going to hurt or help when trying to mine Flux, but I don't know. We'll give it a shot. So right now I do have it set up. All I got to do right now, I've got it set up with 1250 core and 900 mem, which is like 1800 in Windows. So I'm going to try that first. Hopefully I don't get a crash, but we will find out here shortly. So let me go into the flight sheet and let's kick it off and see what happens. Actually, I do want to bring up this window. Oh, I hate that when there we go. Oh, heck, this has been so long, I didn't even needed to download it. And the other thing is, it's probably been a while. I probably don't even have the latest drivers. So I should probably do that at some point and see if that helps. Alrighty, let's see what happens. Probably easier for me to watch this, actually. It's ramping up. It's already up to 35.6 souls on the 5700 XT. And if you guys do have any suggestions, and I see Trying to Mine actually made a suggestion, please tag me in the chat if you would. I apologize if the fans get too loud. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Doesn't look like the mic's picking it up. I tried to turn the mic away from it. So not doing that great. Only 33.8 souls. What are we at with power? 123 watts. That's it. That is pretty darn low if that's all I'm doing right now. No, that's not right. So 107 on the 5700 XT, but 132. Well, that's right. Don't mind this. The 132 is actually completely wrong because I have an MSI BIOS on this Gigabyte and it completely threw this wattage measurement like completely out the window. Well, 136.32. That's not great. Not great at all. Probably will need to mess with a number of other things in order to make that be better. But let's try upping the core. And then we'll have to play around with voltages and see what we can do there. But for right now, let's see what we can get as far as hash rate. I know somebody said use P0 state. All right. I can do that. Let's go here. I don't have a P0 state option. Probably because I don't have the most up-to-date. Because, gosh, I'm on a really old... Let's do that. Let's update this. Didn't think to do that ahead of time. So we'll just do a self-upgrade. Dash. Is it a dash? No, it is not. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought P0 was for NVIDIA cards as well. But at the same time, I know that there's been some things that have changed. So let's get to a update that's newer and see if it works. Hopefully I won't screw this up by... I forgive you, hobbyist. System restart is required to get the effect. That's fine. So while I'm waiting for this thing to do its thing, Oh, thank you very, very much for the super chat, Mining King. Ducky's in the house? Awesome. Good to hear from you, Ducky. Very good to hear from you. Had us all worried to death. So, yeah, very, very happy to hear from you. Thoughts on Nimbus? I have enough. You have enough thoughts, huh? Yeah, there's a couple of things. First off, you do get some extra rewards with Cadena if you have a Nimbus, but I don't think they make up for, um, if you run multiple Cumulus nodes. But if you're out of IP addresses and you have enough to run a Nimbus node, then that makes sense to run the Nimbus node instead of, and you have the hardware to run the Nimbus node. It makes sense to run the Nimbus node and just consolidate all your Cumulus nodes into that Nimbus node. And then when you get more Flux, you can then expand back into the Cumulus nodes. So kind of just depends on your situation. But eventually, I think it's going to average out. In other words, you're going to be able to have 10 to 12 Cumulus nodes that will make the same as a Nimbus node. But then at that point, why not just do a Nimbus node? I don't know. That's my thought. I think what will happen. All right. It is complete. Let's see if it will start mining again. It is mining. And then we'll mess around with the overclocks. Thanks, Dad. Yeah. All right. Just looking. Hey, if anybody has any suggestions on... Okay, so Mass Boost says my 5600 XT would do 3334 stock on LOL Miner. Yeah, I'm just thinking right now my clocks are not good. I think the memory's fine. I just think the core is too low. So we're going to up the core on both and see what happens. Well, let's do 1500. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we don't get a crash. But I wonder if this is going to be one of those things where I need to get off of the BIOS mod. It definitely upped the temperatures a bit. Fans kicked up. Yep, now it's starting to increase. Well, that's while we're waiting for that to kind of settle out. Oh, unboxing project. Thank you, sir, for some overclocks. I will give that a shot. It's just under 37 with 1300 core. Unboxing project. What are you getting as far as power on that? S. Chang asks, which is more profitable, Cumulus Flux Node or iPolo V1 Mini Classic ATC solo mining? All inclusive, cost of everything. I honestly think a node is going to be more profitable just because it doesn't use much power. It barely uses any power. So your iPolo is definitely efficient, but honestly, I haven't really looked to see if it's efficient enough to be profitable right now. Plus, it's last time I checked, it was pretty up there in price. Its payback was going to be quite a bit, pretty long. On let's see, you make about, not just with the current parallel assets, you make about 8.5 per payout flux. So you're making about $6.50. Let's just round up, about $7 every payout. You do that about twice a month, so it's about $14. Well, I just bought the hardware to run a node. Okay, so the node cost me $92. with shipping and everything. So that's the hardware for it. Now, of course, you need to have the Flux in order to do it. But if you've got it anyway, you can either call that part of the cost or not. Hard to really say. If you're in the project to the point where you want to run a node, most people are going to have 1,000 Flux at that point. So just something to keep in mind. Crypto Tito, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. I appreciate it. Mining King is going to glitter his beard. That would be awesome to see. Not quite as awesome as seeing him shave it off, but definitely awesome. Unbox Brain. You should have told me. I have a stack of servers sitting around that Mining King said I should donate to you. Well, I didn't. I'm not one to ask. I'm just one to try to find stuff, and I appreciate that though. All right. Patrick Murphy, before or after shaving, is he going to glitter his beard? Alrighty. Well, let's where do we end up so far? So we are at 40.8 and hovering around 30 or so. Where are the temps at? Temps are decent. Mem temp isn't that high. Let's try jacking up the mem temps, or the mem up a bit. Did I have it at 900 or 875? I do have it at 900. Let's move these up to 930. I've had them at 930 plenty of times and they've worked. So we're going to try and see if that changes anything. Up go the fans. Oh, it looks like it did have a little bit of an effect. So anyway, so yeah, it was one of the things I was, as I was approaching enough for my third Cumulus node, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for hardware. I didn't want to spend $200 on another Raspberry Pi. So I was trying to find a less expensive option and found something at Micro Center. And then thanks to D-Miner's like, no, don't pay that. Go look on eBay. You'll find something there. And he actually sent me a link to one, which was good. Great price. It was only $59, but it required me to replace the hard drive. It had a 500 gig hard drive. So I was like, wait a minute, let me see if I can find one with a 256 SSD, 256 gig SSD. And I did find one. And that was only like $8 more or something. So it just made a lot more sense to do that. Hey, Baldini, thanks for stopping in. I do appreciate it. Yes, you old bird, time for you to fly and go to bed. Some of us other old birds are night owls, so we can stay up. Anyway. Well, he said, okay, time for this old bird to fly. See you later.
Doesn't mean he's going to sleep.
He's going to bed. The wife is questioning my logic as to whether or not Baldini is in fact going to bed. Baldini, are you going to bed? If he's still here, he probably won't answer. Anyway. So, alrighty. So, where are we at? Not going to bed. Oh, wow. All right. So we're up to 40, 39.5, still only at about 28, 29. This is a little disappointing so far. All right, well, next thing to do, let's up the core. Let's move it up to 1750. And see what happens. Now, what's interesting is that Unboxing Project said he only had to be at 1300 core, 800 mem, 750 core voltage, and 1300 mem voltage for 37. So maybe I do need to manipulate the voltages a bit. Let's see here. Where are we at? I went up a little bit more. I'm sure the power is a bit more as well. Interesting. GPU, well, that's right, because it's off. They're both running about the same power, actually, about 120 watts. Now let's see what the actual power meter is reading. Yeah, it's probably about this RubTech board takes about 25 watts. So it's going to be between the two of them being about 275. And that actually adds up. I'm showing here 287. Although I do think GPU 1 is a little bit lower. That's real interesting though. So GPU 1, which is the 5600 XT, I did set to 1750, but yet it's only going up to 1231. That's pretty interesting. Alrighty. Well, let's see here. I'm going to scroll down, see if anybody has... Oh, what kind of chips does mine have? I think mine are Micron. Yeah, they're both Micron. Thanks, TPS. Nice to see some good old-fashioned GPU overclocking again. I appreciate that. All right, well, let's split these up. Let me try running this with at least the 5600 XT. Try running that one with his suggested. Oh, I didn't see Kaiser's. God, you have to tag me. Although maybe Kaiser, maybe you're on mobile and so it's hard to tag. 1400, 812. Here, let's do this. All right, so one of them said 1400 and 1300. All right, so just to double check. Yes, 0 is the 5700 XT, 1 is the 5600 XT. All right. So on 1, we're going to do 1400, or 0, we're going to do 1400. And the other one, 1300. Core voltage is losing my spot. Is this the one? Yeah, okay, so he was saying that one. Okay. So core voltage, he said 812. And he said 750. Now he said 812 on that, or no, 800 on that. We're going to leave that one the way it is. Memory clock. Where did you guys have the memory clock? You guys said 800. You guys brought the mem way down. At least on that one you did. Yeah. Well, Kaiser had 890 mem. We'll do 890. And you said 800. And then memory voltage. I think he said 1200. Yeah, 1200. And then you said 1300. I forget, what's the range on this? The range is actually 1250 to 1350. So we'll call that 1250 since it really shouldn't matter. And let's try that. See what happens. And like I said, the other thing is I may need to update my drivers because the drivers are pretty darn old. And if I have to do the drivers, oh, look at that. We got an immediate jump. Oh, no. Now it's back down. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's the driver.
So I put all my cards on Flux Solo with 2-miner. Am I crazy or crazy genius?
Well, first of all, doing it on 2-miners, I would say, is crazy because I'm not even sure how they pay out parallel assets. So you may have to claim them in your Zelcore wallet to get them, but I don't think they pay them out. Could be wrong. Am I wrong? But I hadn't actually seen anything. I thought it was basically hero miners, miner pool, and obviously Fluxpools that that pay them out. So, all right, I need to scroll down. There we go. So yes, are you crazy or crazy genius? I think you're crazy. It should come out the same, mining pools versus mining solo. It should not matter in the long run. But in the short run, it can be pretty stressful, especially if you're not hitting nothing. And Fluxpools does seem to be pretty darn lucky. All right, so that did not work. So let's try. What am I on? I'm on 20.40, 511.1001. So unboxing project, so that's what's interesting. Depending on how many rigs you have, you do not have to pay for Hive OS anymore because remember, it was if you were mining ETH, but now that I'm only got 3 rigs running, I'm not paying them anything. It is free to run because I only have, if you have 5 or less, or it's either 4 or less or 5 or less. I honestly don't remember. You do not have to pay. So yeah. So right now, yeah, I've got a balance with Hive OS that got nothing to do with right now. But it is what it is. They've done good by me. If it ends up being a donation to them, so be it. Oh, S-Train, 40% more than pool mining? Interesting. I mean, theoretically, it shouldn't be. But if you are right next to and have a really quick ping time, it's possible that it could be more. No, unboxing project doesn't. Yes, they don't have a flux pool. My point is that if you're not mining ETH, my experience is before the merge, if you were mining ETH, yes, you had to pay. But if you are mining anything but ETH or ETC, you don't have to pay. So, yeah. Alrighty. All right. So I'm caught up there. All right. So let me check something here. Of course, now I've lost all my. Oh, no, I didn't. I was thinking I lost all my commands, but I did not. So let's do AMD info. Now that's just going to give me my cards. I need to look at Hive replace and then list. All right. Of course, it doesn't tell you which one you're on. Now, let me go back over here. The one I'm on is 5 point. I can't see that. Number 83 or 629. No, that's that one, but that's not the core. 510. Number 8 here. I'm going to do that. And that way I can paste it somewhere else. Yeah, number 83. All right. Go back over here. It's 5.10.83. This is the one I have, which has, yeah, 20.40-511.1001. There's been many more upgrades. So I guess. Oh, interesting. It just rebooted. Yep. Device 0 detected a crash. All right. Well, let me do a Hive replace. I think that's what may what caused a problem. Plus, I think some of these settings are a little low, at least to run stable. So, yeah, they're back up. All right, let me do a Hive replace now. Yeah, I gotta do a refresh. All right. Hive dash replace. List. Gonna roll the dice. Go to the latest one on a RevTech board that might not work. Alrighty. Now let me let me review. People have tagged me. So Unboxing Project says I put all my cards 1 kilo soul on Flux solo mine with 2 miner. Oh, that's we already said that. Unboxing Project, but you have to pay. Oh, we already did that. All right, let me catch up a little bit here. I thought that was only if you were using their pools. I'm not sure what you mean by that as far as the parallel assets. I mean, like I said, Fluxpools, Miner Pool, and Hero Miners all pay out the parallel assets in their payouts directly to you in Flux, as opposed to having to go through. But again, I don't know for sure. I just hadn't seen anywhere where in 2 miners where they talked about paying out parallel assets. So let's see. Did Tains ever respond? All right, here's Tains. Unbox. If you are mining something that they have a pool for and you are on a different pool, then you pay. If Hive does not have a pool for it, then that worker doesn't count. Oh, you guys are talking about Hive. Yes. That's exactly what I have found, exactly what Tains said. Yeah, as Chang basically has it, as far as solo mining goes, yeah, if you have like a super fast ping time, there's a possibility that you can improve your luck. The faster that ping time is, basically reducing the latency, the more likely you are to get a block. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash says, I'm on Ergo right now. Going to switch to Kitty tomorrow, probably for a couple days, then maybe Flux. I mean, Ergo's looked good. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, you look at what to mine, and it seems like it's been consistently at the top. I'm just partial to Flux myself. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so Unboxing Project. Free mining rigs on Hive OS, I thought was only free in their pools. No, not necessarily. If you're mining anything other than what they have a pool for, then it's free. Yes, that's correct. You could mine with Fluxpools with Hive OS and not pay per rig up to 4 rigs. Yes. How do you check ping time? You can ping an IP address or you can ping a but there are specific ways of checking latency. I know Son of a Tech did a really good video on that quite a while ago, but it's still applicable. I know that there's a latency tool out there somewhere. Yeah, but real quick thing you can do is just ping it. But again, the ping, when you ping it directly, it's not necessarily the same as when you're checking for latency. So it's better to check the right way if you're thinking about mining solo. Ping time was like 15 milliseconds. That's pretty darn quick. Certainly to something in your network, you can get sub 10 milliseconds easily, but you got to be pretty close to your ISP's network in order to get that 15 milliseconds. Crap on a cracker. Now I know what I have to do tomorrow morning. Frickety frick frick. Well, hey, if you got it mining on Hive OS, why change? And yes, parallel assets could pan out long term, no question. Now I do know that there was some question. I watched the last AMA, and they were talking about parallel assets past the first 10, and they said yes, there will be parallel assets after the first 10, but there may not be parallel asset payouts. So it's just linking them. So that again, there may be the end of this parallel asset gravy train after 10. Didn't say for sure, but that's one of the things that they mentioned. Let's see. You're welcome, Black Cat Crypto. I haven't done anything to try that. But the longer distance you have, that probably isn't going to help. I would imagine latency would generally increase unless you're trying to go around something that is artificially inserting latency that shouldn't be there. So if you're able to, state I'm really from here, and that would cause routing in the network to direct you around the part that's giving you a problem, I suppose that's possible. And thank you, Sunflower Mama, for telling everybody to hit that like button. All right. Oh, sorry. Sunflower Mama is here. She's here. Was she here when yeah, I guess you were here. You were in the list. It was an accident. She is my biggest supporter. Of course, I love her to death. All right. 56%. I knew the stream would go a little bit long because I figured I'd run into hiccups along the way. And of course, there's always the possibility that the BIOS mod is causing a problem. Wow, unboxing project. Thank you very much. Let's see who the lucky winners are. Gandalf Gray, New England Crypto, Automatic Beats, Mike the Miner, and Chris Hanley. Congratulations for getting a membership to my channel. I do appreciate that very much, Unboxing Project. You did not have to do that at all. Yes, you probably can run a Flux node on your mining rigs. Not sure how Hive OS is like that, but it should theoretically be possible. I don't, especially if you ran like a separate I want to say XM, but that's not the right word. But anyway, separate instance of Linux. You can certainly do that. UPnP on Hive OS. Really? Oh, doubt it. Okay. Yeah, so again, you could run it on the same machine as long as you segmented it. And of course, you'd have to have enough processing power in order to do it. That's for sure. VM, yeah, I was right. Okay. Oh, I said XM. Yeah, virtual machine. Duh. Anyway. Yeah, Meathead said, I'm thinking about getting a $250 server and running all my Flux nodes on it. It's interesting because, Mining King asked me the same thing. He's like, well, why don't you just buy one machine and run VMs on it? And I'm like, yeah, if I was starting over and I knew I was going to get 3 Flux nodes, absolutely. I would have gotten a machine that ran VMs on it and just done it on one machine. But because I did one, was running for a while, then did another, was running for a while, and now I'm doing the third one. So this third one, though, I got the type I got because of, well, partially because I wanted to spend less, but also because I can put, it's got 3 SATA connectors. So I can hook up 3 SATA drives to it. So if I want to do Project Thunder, I can expand the drives pretty darn easily. All right, up to 83% loading. Yes, I know, Tanes. I know. But my little pies are just so cute. They sit on my desk. They make me happy. I just look down at them going, those things are really cool. I like them. They're not sitting down in my basement where I can't see them, which is where my third one's going to go. That one's going to go into the basement. So, but yes, I know, Tanes. So I can just shorten that whole statement that you just made in that you could have said, I told you so. Oh, really? 3070 prices have gone up on eBay? Interesting. I know the 5700 XTs have gone way down. I've seen some for less than $200. So, very low. All right, 93%, almost there. I wish their servers were faster. Oh, what's Project Thunder? So Project Thunder is a Flux project, and what it allows, basically, it is like Dropbox. Basically, it's basically selling disk space, and so people who own nodes will be able to put storage on their nodes, which they will then earn payouts based upon the amount of storage they provide to the Flux network. So right now it does exist. You can actually, as an owner of Flux, actually use your hard drive on your Flux node and store things if you'd like. So it's kind of rolled out now, but you have to own your own Flux node in order to be able to use the storage on it at this point. Or have somebody who is willing. I think if you had somebody's login, you could actually get into it. All right, checking archive integrity. Well, that's taking plenty of time. 38%. All right. New England crypto. Yeah, I've had those days when the internet keeps going out. It's frustrating as heck. Yes, you need a Flux node with staked Flux to provide storage in Project Thunder. That is correct. So you have to be running a node and then hook up storage to that node. Now, exactly what the configuration will be, I think still is a little up in the air. So I'm waiting to hear that. I'm waiting to hear like what the actual rewards will be. So is it worth the investment in the storage? But like I said, getting the type of hardware I'm getting, a small form factor computer definitely made a lot of sense because it leaves me better options for the next one. So anyway, cloud storage could compete with AWS in the future. Yeah, it's going to be a while. I mean, AWS is so embedded in so many companies at this point. It's going to take a while to people to come around for Web3. I think right now it's a Web3, the adoption of Web3 is going to be more of hey, let's try out this new technology. Let's have this as a backup in case AWS goes down. It's inexpensive. It makes a lot of sense to make sure that we don't ever go down. So, yeah, I think that is a big portion where I think they're going to finally start getting more and more adoption. Gandalf Gray, for some reason, doesn't come up like a tag, but yeah, I just bought 4 5700 XT Sapphire Nitros on eBay for $150 each. Holy cow. Just looked up to see if my bids were still winning, and 3070 FTW3 auctions are $700 each. Holy cow. That is ridiculous. All right, where are we at now? Oh, writing the image. And we're about halfway. Alrighty, let's see what else we got here. Nerd Gears has 5700 XTs for $185. Wow. That is honestly the 5700 XTs just by themselves are a good card. I mean, they're a good gaming card. Remember with Project Thunder, WordPress will be activated mainstream. Well, I didn't think Project Thunder was tied to WordPress, is it? I thought they were separate. Yeah, trying to mind just said, yeah, I got two 3070 FEs for $305 each on eBay a week ago. Wow. Let's see, what did Bill say? Yeah, I mean, 5700 XT, I've always liked that card. It's always done well for me. All right, so now it's rebooting. Let's hope it reboots. That would be nice. Still showing offline. Okay, it says rebooting 26 seconds ago. Well, hopefully I won't have to, if this doesn't boot, then I will call it a day. Come on. Still showing offline. Martin says, I have 6,500 terabits in Chia and expanding. Should I get into Flux nodes, and which one would you recommend? Thank you. It sounds like it came up. And it did. Alrighty. Okay, did it remember the password? I guess it did. Yeah, it did. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see where we go now. Alright, let's see. Still not showing anything. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get much better out of this. I may have to try to figure out how to replace the BIOS to get it back to where it should be. Either that or try to figure out what the overclocks need to be. Oh, well, actually, maybe I take that back. 5700 XT seems to be doing better. It was 35. I don't know. It went up to 41 for a moment and then came back down to 33.2. I mean, this really seems to be running way low on watts. Let me try upping. I'm going to try something. on this. First of all, I'm going to move this one to 0 and not change anything with the memory controller voltage. Move both of these up to 850. I'm going to move this memory clock, both these memory clocks up to 900. Memory does affect this. We'll leave the memory voltage alone. Let's try that first and see what happens. See if we get some increases. Because 5700 XT isn't bad as far as efficiency goes. It's showing 0.388. It's not as good as, you know, 3060 Ti or 3070, but it isn't bad, that's for sure. Better than I thought it would be. Let's see where we're going now. Yeah, it still jumps around a lot. It was like 40.3 down to 36, then it was 43.1 down to 36.3. Let me see if I can raise the core again. Yeah, it's going to take, I mean, this is the thing with AMD is it takes a lot of playing around with it, that's for sure. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of stabilized around 37 for the 5700 XT, which is around the same. And what do we have the total power at? Total power is, oh, I'm looking at voltage, 275 watts. That's not bad for those two cards. So you have 275 watts, which is about the same as two 3060 Ti's or 3070s. And getting around 64.5, which, yeah, when you look at it that way, not so great. It's actually like 250 watts, but yeah, this is my struggle with these cards. Well, if you have any last questions, please tag me in the chat. So Bill Clancy, all my AMD cards, I start with no overclocks, then start slow with the overclocks. Yeah, I kind of jumped right in. I could zero them out. Let's zero them out. See what we get. And again, this is a BIOS modded card. 850 is what I need to remember. All right, Gandalf Grace says, what do all the other voltage settings control? Have you done much with SoC voltage? I have not. Honestly, I've really just had a lot of help with settings. So yeah, what they all do, I mean, obviously one controls the voltage of the GPU itself. Other ones control voltage of the actual memory themselves. I mean, so they kind of describe what they do, but you know, how each of them helps. I mean, the lower the voltage, the lower the power on anything. Oh, so you had, well, 6800s weren't BIOS modded, I didn't think. I didn't think you could BIOS mod them. So you had to put it back after ETH to mine properly. Okay, well, then maybe I will need to do that. Let me see if I can actually. See, the problem is that was on the computer down in the basement. I'll have to find those. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that one is pretty dead. Either that or it's just mining very, very poorly at base. See, I went down to 59 watts. No problem. Yeah, I saw it. Oh, 5,700, not 6,800. Okay, got it. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. If I actually went in here, I'm trying to remember where. Go to cards. Let's go down to 5,700 XT. Download or select? Because I don't have. Yeah, I don't have one in here. Let me download. Oh, see, that's just going to save what I currently have, which is fine. And then we'll do this one as well. Yeah, I'm going to have to find what I did with those VBIOSes. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's on the computer in the basement. I will have to see if I can get those. I mean, I knew to save all of the BIOSes before, but God, that was so long ago. That was so long ago. Or at least it feels that long ago. Alrighty, guys. Well, I won't bore you anymore with this. I will actually continue doing this actually in. Oh, let's see. Where is everybody tonight? Where is everybody hanging out tonight? It appears that there's a bunch of people hanging out in the D miners, but we'll go to Misfit Mining. We will go into the Misfit Mining, or I will go into the Misfit Mining. If you do have any questions, feel free to come over there and chat with me. Otherwise, I am going to end the stream. Thank you guys for hanging out while I was playing around with this. I'll be back to my normal content next week, most likely. But just felt like I wanted to try this. I really couldn't believe that I couldn't find a lot of information on it, and want to see if I want to use these cards or if I just want to maybe sell them at some point. Right now, they're not worth that much, so I'm going to hang on to them. And you never know, there might be another Ethereum or Ethereum-based algorithm that that will be good to mine. So you just never know. So, alrighty, let me go back into there, make sure it's actually still mining. It is, just not mining much at 8. So base definitely doesn't do a heck of a lot, although it doesn't take much power, that's for sure. So, alrighty, guys. Well, again, thank you guys for showing up. I do very, very much appreciate it. Let me just double check one last time as I put a window over the chat. Post the link to Misfit Mining. Yeah, hang on a second. If you do not belong to Misfit Mining, where have you been? Let me see. Oh, and now I see all these people. Interesting. Okay. Saw a whole bunch of people actually chatting with me. So, all right, sorry. Back to the server. You know, it's so stupid. I don't even know how to refer people to the server, which is so stupid. Oh, there we go. Invite people. There's the link. I knew I could figure it out. Discord's not that hard. I'm not that old. All right. There's the link to the Discord server. So, alrighty, guys. There goes 1 to 37. Yeah, the 5700 XT is at 37. But anyway, I'm going to be playing around with it a bit more. Alrighty, guys. Again, thank you very much for joining me in this overclocking session. I appreciate it. And you guys all have a great night.